For the last couple of months, we've been asking people in the small business community to share their stories about the trials and tribulations, their successes, and some of the issues facing trying to be a small and successful small business owner here in this province. And we've selected one person to focus in on this morning. His name is Evan Bursey. Evan is with the Fort Amherst Pub. He joins me live in the studio. Good to see you, Evan.
Thanks very much, Paddy. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. Listen, it's really good to have you in the studio. This is exciting times for you. When we read your application, I stayed out of the judging because it's not appropriate for me to be involved. But you talk about your family's entrepreneurial spirit dating way back. Give us a brief history lesson.
Well, my family came here from England in 1748, and they've been involved in some form of fish merchant business or cod liver oil manufacturing, you name it, they've done it. So we've really been, I guess, attached to the business side of Newfoundland and Labrador from the beginning.
And so when you have that entrepreneurial spirit and bitten by the bug, it becomes a dream of many people who are the sons or daughters of business people to do exactly that for themselves, and you chose that course for your professional life.
Absolutely. Well, my father owned a Hungry Fisherman when I was growing up, and that's where I got my learnings, and I knew my whole life that I wanted to be involved in some sort of small business, and really the kitchen life, it just spoke to me. So I tried my best to figure out a way that I could control my own destiny and control the ebbs and flows of things that I might be able to one day open up my own operation, and here we are.
The aspirations to be a small business owner, I think, is in the back of the mind of an awful lot of people, me included. And for those who aren't involved, they see it as something glorious and glamorous, and it's easy, and you're your own boss, and there's endless stream of money. Not really so. A lot of struggles along the way. Tell us about your experience as you tried to open up on Water Street, where you and I first met when we talked about some of the problems you were dealing with.
Absolutely. Well, the glamour quickly fades the moment that you sign that lease. Yeah. Well, as you know, Paddy, it's been a difficult road for us. In 2016, in April, we started doing our renovations downtown, and in July we had a flood, Canada Day weekend. As many people may or may not know, the pressure of the water lines to begin with downtown, because you're below the level so far. I mean, it's above what is really recommended for your pipes to handle on your water lines anyway. So obviously there was a big charge to the system there, where everybody was out partying, and all the bars on George Street needed, ample amounts of water for their cleaning and everything like that, in the washrooms and facilities. So what they assumed happened was there was such a draw to the system that it was pumping the water down at such a rate that 3 o'clock, when everybody went home out of it, there was such a pressure to the system that the lines upstairs in the toilets they all blew, because they were so overpressurized, and that's the design of a quick release valve, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's a knife to the heart. Here's all these other businesses, doors open, making money, creating jobs, and while you were struggling to do exactly that, you run into this problem with the flooding, which Absolutely. Of course is, the lease payments still have to be made. A lot of small business owners get chased away when they face that kind of adversity. Not you. You found a new location, you're up and running now in Churchill Square, and hopefully these types of conversations and encourage other small business owners, and maybe the impact of having this discussion on this program, some of the advertising that you've won here on VOCM, and congratulations for that. What's it going to mean to the business?
Oh, this is night and day. I mean, the setbacks, as you mentioned, everything still needs to be paid. Mm-hmm. And insurance in a flood doesn't make you whole. So, there was definitely a certain amount of setbacks whereby we didn't have a budget for advertisement. We barely had a budget to get our doors back open. And that was priority number one. I'm too young to be dealing with, throwing in the towel at this point, so that just was not in the cards. So, word of mouth advertisement is a slow grind, and I call it the rule of thirds. If I tell 6 people and they tell 6 people, we might get 12 potential customers from that, and that definitely is not an easy thing to face. So when we see, an opportunity to, get our story out there, one, and two, to get an opportunity to work with VOCM and have some professionals work on some advertisement for us, we had to jump at the opportunity. And it was like we said, there's a lot of doom and gloom to the economy. There's a lot of negatives to any part of entrepreneurialism, but if you really want it, you'll make it happen, and you'll find ways and ways of working with people to get through the hard times. And that's really what did it, was the support group. I mean, we're lucky. We live in a pretty small community with a lot of really good people, and it's a close-knit community, and truly the support that we receive from various people, my family especially, that's what made it possible. And really, to anybody out there who's, hesitant, like you said, about getting into, doing their own thing and running their own business, if you want it and you're willing to do what it takes, definitely do it. Don't think twice. Just make sure you take the right steps to make your dream a reality, because it is possible.
Absolutely, and it's a tight-knit community too. It's not all adversarial. There's got to be some partnerships formed, because when one does well, there's opportunity for everybody to do well. Our partner in this particular initiative is Calagro, a great local company, as many people will be familiar with the programs, the services, the suite of services offered by Calagro. Join us on line number one is the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Calagro, Kevin Casey. Good morning, Casey. You're on the air.
Hey, Patty. How are you doing this morning? Congratulations, Evan. Big day for you, for sure.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
And so a partnership like this between us at VOCM and you, and eventually to be able to showcase businesses like Evan, this is a big part of, it's not all about giving back, it's about telling these positive stories and knowing that there are corporate partners there that are going to give you a leg up when required.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, Patty, what struck us, first of all, Calagro, in its very beginning was, above Stockwoods on Freshwater Road with a team of 2 people. So, it didn't take long to look through the roots of the days that Calagro started. But I think really for us, and, we talked about this, with the VOCM crew, is 80% of all the small businesses, so there's 20,000 of them in Newfoundland and Labrador, 80%, have less than 9 employees. And these aren't the companies that are going across the stage getting awards. They're not the companies in the news, but they're the folks like Evan and Caitlin who are kind of grinding it out every day, hustling, fighting through a tough economy. And the last 3 years has been anything but a walk in the park for small business. So, we wanted to kind of partner with you guys and give small business a time to shine. And, these are the people that don't get a pat on the back very much. We had over 60 people, 60 companies that actually took pen to paper and put very, deep stories that they sent into us. This wasn't like a ballot. These were their heart on paper about, their passion and their purpose and their pain. And, it was tough for us to kind of go through 60 entries and pick a winner, because there was something about every one of those stories that struck with us. And, we're going to do something special for all these 60 companies that took the time. But Evan and Caitlin really battled through so many curveballs early on and so many other misfortunes, and they stuck to their beliefs. And that's really what small businesses do. And, we're proud to kind of do our part in kind of heralding these people and putting them on a podium, even if it's just for a moment, because they're too busy to stay on the podium because they got to get back to work.
Exactly right. People don't realize it, but you talk about small and medium-sized business as the backbone of the economy. Almost 40% of people with a full-time job in this province at this very moment are working for that small or medium-sized company, and they don't get the recognition, and they are up against it. So when we can all join forces, whether it be between us and Calagro, to give them a sense that they are important, an important part of the economy, and people do have your back. We always encourage our listeners to consider the local brand. A chain restaurant might be alluring, or a chain retail shop, a big box store, but there's a lot of hard working people right there living in your neighborhood that are creating the jobs, providing opportunities. Let's make sure that we support them and recognize them, like we're doing here with Evan Bursey and the Fort Amherst Pub. And we really appreciate your partnership on this one, Kevin. Fantastic. Thank you.
No problem. Pleasure to do it. And these are the unsung heroes. So we love to be part of it. And there's a lot more Evan and Caitlin's out there. And hopefully if we do this again, we'll hear more stories and we'll get a chance to give some other people just like Evan a chance to share their stories. So thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Stay in touch.
Okay. Take care, Patty.
You too. Kevin Casey, Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Calagro. We're really appreciative for their partnership. And we'll wrap it up here with Evan. Congratulations, and the story is absolutely compelling. And just because what we're doing here is not only focusing on you being able to overcome the struggles and the hurdles put in front of you, But we want to put some bums in the seats and on the bar stools at your pub. Give the folks the pitch, where you are, what you offer.
Thank you very much, Paddy. Well, we're in Churchill Square at 29 Rowan Street. You can get us any day, 11:30 until 10 on the weekdays, 11 on the weekends. And we offer a very value-based menu that has some fine options that are all made from scratch. It's just a nice take on pub food. We've got a really great beer selection from Split Rock out of Twillingate. They're brewing some phenomenal beers, so we try to keep them on our taps, at least 3 taps in the rotation. So yeah, we're just really trying to provide a nice, comfortable environment. And really, I got to stop for a second, Paddy, and attest to what Kevin said about the hard workers. I mean, there's 4 full-time employees at Fort Amherst Pub who make that happen 6 days a week. It's Brian Hewitt, Ryan Abbott. Those are the 2 chefs. My brother's the bar manager, and myself, I kind of fit in where I have to. It's true. They are the backbone. And truly, without people like that, the small businesses don't exist, and they are the unsung heroes. Those people who are grinding 40, 50 hours a week, and they don't get the pat on the back, as Kevin said.
I'll see you at the pub, Evan. Congratulations on this. And folks, take an opportunity to look up Evan and his hard-working team right there in Churchill Square at 29 Rowan Street. Stay in touch with the program. We're always talking about some of the heated issues of the day, but we always have to remember there's a lot of stories of hard work and dedication, taking people over the hurdles put in front of them to be a success as a small business owner, just like Evan Bursey at Fort Amherst Pub. Good to see you, Evan.
Thank you very much, Paddy.